Today, I want to talk about the biggest mistake that I made in 2019. And be sure to watch this because chances are, and I'm betting, that you're probably making exactly the same mistake. Let's do it. When we move from corporate and we start our own business, be it because you're forced or because maybe you planned it and you always wanted to do it, or maybe just start a business right out of school. It's natural for us to look at what it is that we're actually good at, what skills we've got, what experience we've got, and then how can we take that to market, and how can we just go and look for clients, and do we just tell everybody, this is what we do and this is how I can help you, and then hoping that there's somebody with that problem at that point in time, or that somebody would be able to put this problem and this skill of mine together and say, oh, Francois is the guy to help, or Susie is the girl to help, or whatever the case is. Now, I've been in the insurance industry since 1998, and I've really been privileged to work with some of the best people. I always joke I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in this business, and it's really been a privilege. And I think one of the most valuable times I've had in that time since 1998 was to work directly with clients, because I got to appreciate what financial advisors and planners and everybody involved in the financial planning industry goes through on a daily basis. I have a lot more empathy, and I understand what it's like to look for a client and then be able to do business with that client, and really taking the time to get to know them and become part of their lives. It's really, I think we do with such a noble profession that we're in, and that we can really make a difference to people's lives. But we also get so involved that, it does take a toll at some point, and some people get more involved than others. So it's really a privilege to be working in this wonderful industry. Now, over the years, I've obviously cultivated my knowledge and my technical expertise and things like that, and I've really gotten good at that. And that is the one thing that I started to get known for amongst the people that I got to work with. But, that said, at the end of the day, I also have other passions, other things that I like. So apart from being good at financial planning in terms of, the technical knowledge and how you do calculations and how tax works and all of those things, I also have this passion for technology. And I spend a lot of time working with technology, both things like hardware, computers and all sorts of other hardware systems and computers and laptops and recording devices and all sorts of stuff, and also software. And not only the financial planning software that we use in the industry, but others, things like other CRM systems and just other programming stuff that I get involved with and things like that. So I have that passion. Then I love marketing. I do all my own social media stuff. I practice the things that I learn, and I try things out, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'm too salesy, sometimes I'm too quiet, sometimes, how it goes. And but I love all of these things, and through all of this and I've consulted to a lot of people in their businesses. I learned from running my own business what's working and what's not working, and I'm able to apply those things with advisors or agents or whatever you call them, or you want to call yourself, in their business, to help them through the things that they struggle with, because we tend to struggle with the same things, just maybe at a different time or different level, etc. But you sit with all of this stuff that you can do. So in my case, that's like I can almost help anybody with anything, and I'm not blowing my own horn here, but that is more a curse than it is a blessing, I must be honest. Because what tends to happen is we try and do exactly that. When somebody asks for this, I say, I can help you with this. If someone I get it a lot, can you help me build this tool in Excel? Or can you, help me get this process together? Or can you, and I always say yes. And I shouldn't be, because that's not really my core thing. And I think that is what what my big lesson or my big mistake was for 2019 is I've been running after a lot of stuff and a lot of people, because I also have this thing to help others. I want to help. I want to make a difference. I really want people to be the best that they can be. And, you layer that on top of everything else that you can do, you quickly find yourself in a position where you just don't have time. So in December, I sat down and I really realized that, if I look at the input versus the output, there's no real correlation there. If you want to put this much in, you want this or more out. But you put this much in and you get this much out, it doesn't really, something's wrong. And it took a lot of sort of introspection and a lot of time to look at all the things that we did during the year. And I came to the conclusion that this is the mistake I made. I was trying to look at what are all the things that I can do, or what's all the things we can do in our business, and just throw it out there and hope that somebody sees it and phones us and say, Francois, please, can you help us with this? And that obviously did not really happen. So I then realized that, okay, obviously we're missing something. And that something for me was so this is what we've got. We've built fantastic products during the year. We've come up with some fantastic services and all of those things. Why did we not have a queue outside our door waiting to use our services? And I came to the conclusion, after looking at a lot of things, that we need to maybe consider what it is that our ideal clients actually, what they are struggling with and what they actually want. Now, I've also written an article that I'll put the link down below, either in the comments or the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And I there spoke about Steve Jobs and Henry Ford as two examples, because Steve Jobs actually referred to what Henry Ford said back in the day. And Henry Ford, he said that, if he asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, because that's all they knew. That's how they got from point A to point B, was using horses. And Steve Jobs said, because where that comes from is that Steve Jobs said, and you will probably know this, he said that customers don't know what they want until you show it to them. Now, I don't really agree with that. It's true, there is some truth to that the customer don't know what they want. But what they do know, what I can tell you for a fact, what they do know is what they are struggling with, what their problems are, what their pains are. And if we can ask the right questions, they can really explain that to us so that we can understand it fully. And once we understand it, now what we should do is go and look at, I've got these skills and this knowledge and this expertise, and I know that person, I have this resource, and then you put together a solution for that. So that is really what we should be doing. But what do? No. We go and look at, I can do this and this and this. There's a product. Let's see if somebody buys it, even if we know who our ideal client is. So that is exactly what we did in 2019, and that was my biggest mistake. I sort of think that if you build a great product, it will happen. And I was at this doctor's office once, and he was fascinated with butterflies and all those kind of things. And I saw this quote saying that love is like a butterfly. If you chase after it, it will elude you, but if you stand still, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. And I think about that's the same way in business. Business is anyway a thing of love. And when we try and chase after every client, trying to solve every single problem, having these products that we try and flog to every single person, then it's like chasing after butterflies, and they will just go like this, and you won't be able to catch one of them, or maybe one or two of them. Whereas if you just stand still, they just come and sit around you, and they will do that. So for me, it's exactly what we did in 2019. We were chasing butterflies, running after every single opportunity and helping with things, even things that we didn't have products and solutions for. I said yes, and we started creating things for that. And if I can summarize this video sort of by doing this, is to say, well, I came to understand during this time that we must ensure that we clearly understand the problems and the pains of our ideal client, because you don't want to be working with everybody. Once we know that, we must look at the skills and the expertise and the resources and the teams and everything that we've got, and then we craft a solution for that problem. And then you make that your core offering. And that's exactly what we're doing in 2020, because obviously this mistake for me, I think it's turned out to be my most valuable lesson, maybe not my biggest mistake. I rather want to see it as my most valuable lesson. And that's what we're going to do in 2020. So we are cutting a lot of services. We've learned from our mistakes in the past. We know we've only got so much time in a day. There are things that we are very good at and that we actually are crazy about doing. We love it. And then there are things that we can do, but we don't really love it that much. So meaning that that's not part of our core. And then the last thing that I learned and that I realized from all of this that I've just shared with you is that we must not try and provide a solution for every single problem for every single client. Now, all of this may seem to you like common sense and say, yeah, Francois, that's it. But here's the thing, having the knowledge, and then when it comes to practicing and implementing, we often don't do what we actually know we should be doing. I don't know why that happens, but it's about, I would say, 20% knowledge, 80% behavior, or 80% doing, and that is where we fall short. What problems did you have in 2019, or maybe what lessons have you learned in the recent past? Share it with us in the comments below, or send me a WhatsApp or an email, whatever feels comfortable to you. But, what have you learned, and what are you going to do in 2020? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.